Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. I can hear you now. So, so um, so I apologize for the delay. Yeah, so really having network issues. So today would be dealing with I was supposed to give you an assignment after the last class to actually make a replicate a sign up and sign in process. But then I decided against it. Instead of that, why don't we do it in the class before I give you so we replicate something similar and then I'll give you um that's a different set of screens to replicate. Okay. So so that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll continue from where we started last week and then replicate some screens. And after that, if there's still some time there for us to do so we'll So I hope you can hear me now. I think a call came in and the call came in. So let me share this stuff. Okay. So basically, be replicating the sign up and sign in flow, and I'm going to get some dribble shots from there's some dribble shots which will replicate. So I'll be copying and pasting some images into the Figma file. Let me do that before we continue. And I want to ask you again, did any one of us join um did any one of us join with their system or but I can see that I'm the only one on this file. Okay. So I'm sure you cannot see me now. I'm basically preparing my screen for the activity that we'll be doing, my Canva file. Okay. So this is one of the screens. This is called a flash screen. It usually contains nothing more than just the logo of the product. Yeah. So before we move on, since we're actually few in today's class, so let's make this more interactive, right? So what kind of designs have you done? Elizabeth, Yetunde, what kind of designs have you done? Have you done replications before? Have you gone beyond replications before? How did it turn out? So I think I want to hear about this. Can someone unmute and yeah, I'm not getting anything. I'm not hearing anything. I wonder if anyone is
Okay.
talking.
Ma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I just like recently replicated the design you did for that inbuilt feeds and buttons, and the experience was, yes, I found it very interesting because I was able to replicate it what you thought, and it was quite very easy to do. So that was it.
Okay, that's great. So meaning that from from now you can actually go ahead to do more complex screens, right?
Yes, to an extent.
All right, all right, that's good. That's nice to hear. So well done. So Yetunde, how about you? Okay, I can't really hear you, but I got that you're on the road, right? All right. So don't worry. Yeah, don't worry. Thank you. So before we move on to this, maybe you can type in the chat. Yeah, have you done replications before? How was it? Yeah, just type it in the chat. Yetunde. Yeah, I think that would be better and to be easier to hear you. So let's just continue. We'll just finish this. We'll do alert. We'll do two tips. Yes, and after that we'll move on to this. So I would like for us to be actually fast today so that we can cover a lot. So let me edit this alert and then change the color. Okay, so we have this. So before we move on to alert, I would like to show you an alert design. I'd like to show you an alert design before so that you would have an idea of um, what we're going to build. So it's basically you see alerts a lot on on your various UIs, and as the name says, basically what it is alert, right? Like pop-ups, they're like pop-ups, little, not as big as modals, just little pop-ups that appear on across your screen when you want, like when you make an action, just informative to inform you about certain, like about the state of something, certain differences and all that. So yeah, we're going to do that and then we'll move on to the last one, which are the two tips. Okay, I think somebody unmuted or that's someone trying to say something. And yet today, have you dropped a message in the chat? Um, okay. So while it's trying to load, let's just wait because I'm trying to show you something and the page is taking some time to load. Okay, let me reload. Okay. So as we're waiting for it for the network to go, let me copy this text rather than this one and paste it. So we have our left. Yeah, as usual, just like with the modals and with cards, alerts are going to look something like this. Although smaller, they would have text, they would have buttons and icons. Yes. So let's see. Let me see if my page has loaded. Where it has. Okay, it has. All right. So I'll show you something in a bit. Mhm. So yeah, so you can have alerts as different things. You can have them as success messages. You can have them as error messages. You can have them as warning messages. They basically appear at the top of your screen. If you're yeah, at the top of your screen, both your mobile screen, your um, your web, like your desktop screen. Yeah. So let me share this tab. So I'm actually on Dribble. So this is one example. I hope you're seeing this new tab. This is one example of different sets of alerts, different types in light mode and in dark mode. Yeah, I'm sure we're all familiar with this and seeing something like this appearing on your screen. So these are alerts. Then see something another one. And these ones are just for error and warning and success. So let me choose one that we can quickly replicate. Okay. We'll just do some quick things like the model way and alert should look like. I think we already got something, but I'm trying to see if there's something else. And it's always good to practice, keep on practicing, right? That's how like the more you practice on things, the better you get at it. So the more you practice on designing, the better you get at it. So we'll just do this, and once we're done with this, then we would quickly move on to the other. So let's take this. I think I kind of like it. It's basically simple and straight to the point. Yeah. So something like this. So you can now look at what it contains. Contains an icon. This icon is just to show what we like, show that it is, oh, it's danger. This means like warning information, and then this means success, and then a title, and then text, and then the close icon. So that's basically what it consists of. Same thing here. Some let's have buttons, but not all of them. Like look at this. Look at this. This have buttons, and some of the ones here do not have buttons. So let's quickly do. Let's quickly move on. Yeah. Just think I should go to notes. Alright. So I'm going to share this stuff. And then so the first thing we'll do is get our icon ready, right? We've been using Iconify. So we're going to create three types of alerts. We're going to create the warning, we're going to create success, we're going to create um, the error. So the reason why, so each, so like for warning, for error, for success, there are already colors that that are recognizable for it. So when you want to do success, one of the colors that are mostly used are green. After that is blue. Yeah. If green is not used for success, then you use blue. Oh, look, we already have success here. So if green is not used for success, we use blue. If blue is not used for success, then it will be green. But it's mostly green. And then for error messages, yellow is sorry, not error. Warning messages, yellow is the warning color. Yellow is used for warning. You see it a lot in different apps and different websites. While for error, red is the recognized error color or danger color. Yeah, not danger, sorry, error like danger, but but like error, not to show danger. I think to show that something is dangerous, that should be like warning, right? Yes. Or even on occasion, you see red being used as a like a warning color. Yes, yes. But anyway, it's because they are recognizable. That's why they are used. So I think we've already gotten success icon here, but we can't use it because it's different. So just wanted to check. Instead, let's just take a plain icon, something like this. Yeah, that's also bold too. And then let's import the icon. So let's minimize this. So our icon is selected. I can just click on it and then Control X to cut. Then move to this place. Select the section that I want to paste it in and Control V. So this is it. So the size of this icon is 24 pixels by 24 pixels. So we want to reduce it because alerts are usually small, right? So you would want your icons to be smaller. So let me undo. So I pressed K, right, to scale, to move to the scale, to change to the scale um, bar, or you could come here, the drop down here, and then instead of move, like by default, where we are, we're on move. So to actually scale a design, you click on this drop down and click on scale, or you just press K. Yeah, and then to go back to move, you just press V. Make sure that your notice is not highlighted, or else the V will type into it. So just press V and you're back, and press K, you're scaling now. So for scaling, it means you can reduce the size. I think I explained before, you can reduce the size uniformly. Yeah, you reduce the size uniformly. It preserves your aspect ratio. It doesn't reduce the, like, you're reducing the entire resolution of whatever it is, without affecting or reducing the quality of what it is. So like if I press make it 16, everything becomes 16. It becomes like a 12 or a 24 pixel that has been minimized to 16. It's all uniform. I press K again, you see that it's 16. So we have this, and so we're going to give it a color. So let's change our icon to let's change our icon color to green. I don't know if we already have green on the file. Okay, I guess not. So select purple and then move and then change it from here. This is the hue, right? I remember explaining about hues, different hues, how you can change colors from here. So we're going to use this to actually change our color. So yeah, we have green. Okay, so this is the green we're going to be using. Yeah. So we have this. Next, we're going to use text. I want our text to be the same size that we've been using all this, which I guess is 16. We're going to use, I'll copy this. This is 8 actually. Control C. The reason why it's 8 is because it's a model and the model is small, so you want to reduce the size of it. So it's small model. So that's, so I'm going to paste this here. Yeah, then edit. So let me say, first let me increase the size, or rather, let me duplicate this first. And then for this one, I want to increase the size to the, let's say 14. Yeah, let's say 14. I'm increasing the size of the typeface. So I'm going to edit it and say success message. And then I want to make sure that my text is aligned to the right and that my text, it's not auto height, it's auto width. So it's thick, right? So this is what we have like this. And I also want to make sure that it's medium or semi-bold. Let me give it medium to create emphasis and make sure that it's obvious that it's the title. So then for this one, I will also make this to be left aligned. And let's use the same. Well, alerts are usually not very, don't have usually too long messages, right? So I think we don't need this. We just delete that. You have successfully completed your purchase. That should be it. And here we are. So yeah, so we have this. So I'm going to group it or turn it into a frame. Yes, again, I would also do the same thing for this with the icon. Make sure that the icon is aligned. Yeah, and the icon is aligned. Let's see what is spacing between the icon and the text. 14. Let's make it 12. I think that's okay. Then we select both of them. And then, yeah, so we can actually use this as a tool. So we select both of them and then frame them, right? So let's frame them. Control Alt G to frame. So this is it. We have it. For it all complete, we need to give a margin. So the way I taught you, you look at the constraints, right? You select inward, you select inside. So let me title this and left. So let's call this. It's always good to name your layers actually. So let's call this text, right, or content. So this is your left, and then you want to look inside it and know how the different parts, that is this icon and this, how they are constrained, right? So then you press enter, select the children layers, and then you see where the constraints to the left and to the top. So you select outward, so you select the whole parent again, and then now we want to pull this down to give it a margin, let's say 11. Let's say I want it to be 12 margin. So let me add one. Let's make this 45. But I hope you understand what I'm doing. So I'm trying to make the margin to be 12, and then I'll do the same thing here. So because it's constrained to the top and constrained to the left, so I can actually drag this to increase the length and drag this to increase the width. So let's reduce this by one so the spacing is perfect. We're not going to use this for now. Let's do 3, 2, 5. So 12, 12. We want to do the same thing for this side and this side. So increase the height by dragging this so that it's 12 spacing here and dragging this so that it's 12 spacing here. So, but before we do that, if we know that if we pull like this, because it's constrained to the left, it will move. And then if we pull like this, because it's constrained to the top, this is how it will look like. So we want to change the constraint again, and then turn it to right, and then bottom, so that we can change it. So let's see. Let's drag it here. It's 12 now. And drag it here. It's 12 now. So this is it. So like the brown, let's spin it white, right? But because our background is also white, right? It's not going to be very obvious. So instead, let's add the stroke that we've been using. I don't want to use a different stroke. So the stroke that we use for this model, I'm going to copy it. You can copy different things on this panel. You just have to come here, click on it, and you can actually copy it and paste it on another layer. Another layer. For this one, you just if for the selection colors here, you just have to click on this to actually select that particular element and then come and call it and then copy it here. So let me go back. So I want this is what I want to copy. I'll control C and then go back to my alert and then control V. Okay. The stroke has pasted. So we also want to look at also want to give it some a bit of corner radius. So let's say two. Yeah, let's give the corner radius of two. So this is what we have. Yes. But you see our left message is not complete. We also need another icon here, right? Another icon to this side that we can use that will serve as an X that would use to close the alert. So I will duplicate this, Control D, and then move this open. So you look for close. Or instead of opening the plugin, let me just go and copy the close from this model. Since we already use continue. So copy it, Control C, and then I'll replace this. Now if you want to replace if you want to replace a layer or replace an element or a frame or whatever with something in shift, you hold control and shift and then you press R. Now does it control and shift and press R. Yes. So this is it. So remember that we already changed the constraint, so we have to change the constraint back again. We need to do something. So we move the constraint to the right. Let's now move it back to the left, and then this one's are constraint to the top. So, but the thing is, what I want to do is that you right that once I okay, so let me also move this. Let me move it up so that it's on the same line with this icon. So yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to change the constraints for this X and instead of left, put it to the right. Why? Because I want to be able to pull this place and it will pull along with it. Can you see? This is what I want, right? Then let's change the constraint back to left so that we can pull it and it won't pull. So yeah. So this is a success alert. This is a success alert. This shows the success message and then this is the icon to close. So let me name this success alert. You see, design just basically starts in the basic. When you can master it starts with the basics. When you can master the basics, master the master your colors, master how to create basic elements, then you'll be able to actually create more complex elements. Like once you can do that, you basically have once you know the different principles, it will be easier. And then once you know your way around your tool of choice, then you don't have anything else to worry about. All you have to do is just try to push your creativity. Yes. So we're going to duplicate this. I want to create the warning alert, right? Warning alert. So so in one of the alerts that we saw, right, there was something that they did. They actually added a green color to one of the strokes. So there's a way you can do that. The way you can do that. So you can come to this stroke place, right, and add another stroke on top. Now let's make this stroke our green color, right? Now your circle faces can even be like this. They can have green strokes all through, right? Or it could be like this. We're just going to put it to the right. Sorry, not to the right. Let's say to the left. Yeah, to the left. So can you see how it looks like? I think this was what we saw. This was what we saw. This was what we saw. So we basically don't need this here. Then what we can do to create distinction is to actually use this color. These are off-white color for the background instead of any. So let's do that. So I'm going to move. I'll click on this. If you click on this, yeah, you can move it up a little. So it's getting lighter. Can you see? So we have this. So it's not exactly white, but it's off-white, and it makes it still has enough contrast, and then it's also like contrasting with the background a little. So I like this color. Let's also copy this same color for let's remove this. We don't need that. Let's copy this same color. You see what I just told you now, how to copy. Control C, and then I'll come and paste it here. Mm, Control V, right? So you can see the color is the same. So that's how they achieved that one side. So if they basically gave it a stroke, they came here, this would control where you want your stroke to be. Do you want your stroke to be on all the sides? Do you want your stroke to be on the top? Do you want your, I'm sure you've seen success messages like this. Do you want your stroke to be on the bottom? Do you want your stroke to be to the left? Yeah, which is what we did, right? So I'm going to copy this stroke too. Control C, and then I will paste it here. Let me remove this one. We don't need it. We also don't need it. So these are the colors. Then I don't want the stroke to be everywhere. I just want it to be, let's say, at the top. Yeah, this is another style, right? So let me move it. Here. So this is not success. We want to have a warning message. Warning message. It means our color will change from green to the color for warning, which is our border color will change to yellow. So let's come and control it from here, from the tool. Just change it to yellow. And this and that yellow is too. um, Okay, this yellow was too done. So let's move this up a little to make the yellow lighter. And bring this up. Yes, this yellow is okay. So next we want to replace this icon with that for warning, which is the um, info or exclamation icon. So let's just say let's try warning. What would warning give us? Now we type okay. So we have this. So we've already gotten something. We can either use reduce this. And let's use this for warning. I don't want to use any of these because these ones are used for danger or error. So let's just use this. And then let's replace. You can see something to replace mid success bowl. MDI, so that's material design successful. So let's click on it and it automatically replaces it. Let me show you. It has been replaced, right? But then remember that we need to scale it down. We could have done it from the plugin. So let me undo and show you how you can do this from the plugin. I'm trying to undo that action. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to show you the plugin and then this is what I'm selected. And I will come here and control the height. So I want to use height of 16, which is what we are using for our icon, right? And then replace again. And it will replace it, but it won't be too big if we just tap it. So we want to give it the same yellow color as our top margin here. So we come here, click on this now, and select yellow. So we have our warning message, right? Now, the last one we're going to do will be the error, error message, error alert, error alert. Yes. And I don't want this to be just one. Let's see if we can make, first of all, change the color, change it to red. So come here, move the hue towards red. You see? Then I don't want it to be just at the top. Maybe I want it to be right. How's that? Or I want it to be custom. Maybe I want it to be to the right and to the left. Can you see what just happened now? So when I clicked on here, I did not select all top, bottom, left or right. Instead I selected custom, which would make me to determine where I want the stroke to be and the even the weight of the stroke. So I want it to be left, this is left, this is right, this is top, this is bottom. I want it to be at the left and on the right. So I'm going to put 1 pixel. That's the size I want. And this is what it will give. Here it is. So this is what we have. So this is what we have. Right? So we're going to change this to error message. Error, error message. So um oh we didn't change the text. So have you have not rather your purchase. Your purchase might have to be delayed. Then for error, you have imputed wrong correctly wrong payment detail. Details. I hope everyone is following this. You have imputed wrong payment detail. So the next thing we need to do is change this right to an error icon. And so that means we have to use one. Yeah. So let's choose from which one do we choose? Mm, well, let's use this one. Yeah. So we're going to change. Okay, the size is already at 60, and then we're going to replace one in it. So it's been replaced. Then what we need to do now is to change the color, right, from black to red. I hope it's the same red. Yeah, I think maybe it's the same red. Okay, so that is done. These are our alerts. And then the next one we're going to create is tooltip. So done with the alert. success, for warning, for error. You see, these things look simple, right? They're actually all these things. Once you know the method or the way to do them, you can simplify a lot of steps for yourself when you're designing, and that would let you be able to focus on, ideating. Okay, so let me name this two tips. Two tips. You also change the color to one. Okay, so that's done. Okay. So I'll do as usual. I will copy the text. Or I'm going to create and copy this text. And then what I do is in this section is so let me edit it to two tips. Okay, this way. Okay. So I think we're almost done. We might not actually make it a whole, but yeah. So a tool tip, let me show you a tool tip before we move on. So tool tips are similar to all these things actually help. Like they are used in, letting users be aware of the state of things, giving users information, like your modals, your alerts, likewise your tool tips. So these are tiny things that are used during tiny floating cards, tiny floating cards that appear on the screen during appear on the screen during onboarding. Yeah, they appear on the screen during onboarding to help to help you, be aware of the state of things, right? Visibility of system status again. Yeah. So I'm going to show you I'm going to show you that, and then um yeah, then would replicate that. Okay. So okay, so let me share this. Yes, so I'm present. Oh no, sorry, not Google. On Weibo. So let's say tooltip. I'm going to search for tooltip. Tooltip. Yeah. So you see something pop up. Okay, so like this is actually an alert or a pop-up. Yeah. It contains a button. So next please. Yeah, so two tips. I think what we're seeing here is that yeah, but this is a two tip. Yeah, this is a two. A two tip doesn't have to be that complex. This is also a two tip. Like they use during onboarding, like on your Figma, when you just start using Figma, right? When you created your Figma account and then you opened you know, your first file, you'd see something like this, appearing with instructions. Click here. This is what you do here. Those are tooltips. Like as the name for as the name um as the name says, tips, tooltips. You know, yeah, there are tooltips. So I'm looking for one that is actually very simple and easily recognizable. Yes, this is actually a tooltip. Nothing too complicated. It just has one keyword, just one like two words. That's all, and basically tells you all you need to know about certain things. And this is also so like when you hover over something, right? Maybe you hover over something. What pops up? I'm trying to see if Dribble has the yes. You can call this a tooltip. Yes, this is a tooltip actually. Once I hover over the name of anyone, you see something that pops up. This is a tooltip. Tooltips are recognizable by the arrows or triangles that point to what they are actually, describing or giving more information about, followed by a small floating card, right? Small floating card. So this is the perfect example of a tooltip that contains basically everything that any tooltip should have. Yes, tooltip title. Tooltips display informative text when users hover over, focus, or tap an element. I don't know about tapping, but when you hover over an element, it displays information on that element or displays helpful, tips to help you navigate through different like, different parts of your UI. So let's create a tooltip here. As you can see, this tooltip just has a title, a text, and a small button. And so let's go back to our paper file. Yeah, so back here, and we're going to create a tooltip. Now, all right. So the first thing we need to do as usual, just like with the, is to get our text, just like with this, to get our text and our text. Yeah. So we do not actually need icons for it. So we just need text and then button. So you don't need to be able to close a tooltip because once you hover, it appears once you hover it. But yes, if it were a if it were doing an onboarding, tooltips would have something like next or skip, something like that. Like you don't want to see those two tips if it, or next, like you want to see the next two tips if it's doing good. So I'm just going to copy this text, Control C, and then I will come to my tooltip action and paste it, Control V. And so we have the following for a template. Instead of software testing, it will be tooltip title, tooltip title, yes. So this will tell you, or rather, this will give you more information. Yes, I think this should do. Tutorials don't have to be too long or contain too lengthy text. So let's make this easy. Let's take this to, I'm going to be screen with you. Okay, so this is what we have. So we have our text here, and then what we need is just a button, and we're good to go. So we need a small button. We'll take the one that we use in our loader, we'll copy Control C, and then Control V, and I'll paste it. And now paste and this copy, Control C, and then we'll come and paste it here, Control V, copy. So for this button, what we need to be here, you might not actually have this icon, right? So we'll just delete it and then reduce the size of the button. I don't know the icon. Yeah, this is okay. So put our button here. Yeah, yeah. The button should have something like let's say left. Button should have something like say left, right. So let's decrease it from left and yeah. So this should be with the line to the left. What we're going to do is we're going to select both the button okay, and the text, and there are 12 pictures are passed, and then we turn them into a scene. So basically going to do what we've been doing before. Control Alt G. Then let's name it creative. Creative. So we have this. Then we can actually, increase the width by pulling on here. Let's see, 14. We want to make it 2. So we remove 2. 9, 9, 2. Right? That's 12. And then we also want to pull it down here. This is this is 11. Okay, so we add 1 to the height. 1. And now going to answer where it and for 1. Yes, so 12 and 12. Then to actually, drag this side and drag this side, you need to change the constraint. Move this to right, make this constraint right, and make this constraint bottom. Okay, then select everything again. And then let's pull. I don't know why it's not snapping. Once it's 12, it's supposed to show. Oh, let's leave it at that. Let's come here. Let's pull here. Mm, I wonder why it's not, showing the. Okay, this is 12. Yeah, this is 8. So we need to 4. Mm, so 4, 8, so 12. So, uh, so we have our topic. Then let's, so we need to give it a, so it's not yet complete, right? I remember mentioning that one thing we use to recognize toothpaste are arrows, right? The arrows that they have. So this is just a frame. Now we need a background and we need an arrow. So this is just a frame. An arrow to point that, oh, this is what the toothpaste is about. So we're going to put our own arrow up, right? So that it points to this word toothpaste, and to tell us what toothpaste are all about, right? Okay, or let's instead of next, let it be keep. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Making with our own, context. Okay, let's see. We need for out. Yeah, so you want to skip the. Yeah, so let me move this one. So yeah, this is what we have. Now we need our background, and then we need a background that has an arrow. So what we're going to do first, we draw a rectangle by typing R or coming here and clicking the drop down selecting rectangle. You can get to a rectangle. This is a rectangle. I want to make sure that the size of this rectangle is the size of this frame, right? So that's equal 155 width, 93 height. So one 155, 93, 93. So it's the length, right? So let me that's 155. So this is it. we have our rectangle. Right, give me a minute. I need to just do something quick. Just 1 minute. Okay, so let's continue. Right. Okay, here. So this is our rectangle, right? And then let's give it a border. Okay, let's not give it a border yet. Let's not give it a border yet. And then now we need a triangle. A triangle is what would be our arrow that we're going to put here to point to the two tips here, right? So we just come here. We need a polygon, right? There is no shortcut for a polygon. That's how you can get a triangle. Click on polygon, you hold shift and drag so that your polygon is equal. And then, so this polygon size, first off, you need to make sure that this is the size that you want to work with. Are we working with 21? Okay, let's make it 20. Let's make it 20. 20 works. Then let's drag it up here. Here. So you see, there's something we're working with polygons or working with triangles or triangles. I think I showed you how you can control the sizes of your polygons, right? Or control the number of, like you can control it from here. Like this has three sides. You can make it 5, right? You can make it 10, 19, whatever. You can see 19 is a lot. Let's say 10, based on our size, 19 is a lot. So let's say 10. So right now, right, we just have to have a three-sided polygon, which is a triangle. The thing working with polygons is this space around it. Like, let me move this to this way. You see your triangle has space here, and it's usually bad, like when you want to, join it to another shape, it's usually bad. So what I do is I, when you right click, you see some options to flatten or outline stroke. So I usually flatten by Control E. So it will remove that, it will turn it into a vector image. So you will not be able to like you will not be able to really edit it much. Yes. And also another thing is that it also makes your polygon more uniform. So you can see that the width is 17 while the height is 15, meaning that this side is actually, that all the sides are actually equal. All the sides are actually equal. So let me make this 15. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, all the sides are equal, I think. But just because these are diagonals, basically this is also 17.32. But because it's like a diagonal line, so yes. So I guess we can leave it like this. So then we now need to join this to this. You see that now there's no space between them. They are perfectly joined. And then this is where something that I really like comes into play, which is the boolean, the boolean part. Yes. Yes. So we have different, for them. Yeah, yeah, we have different. We have. We're going to select these two, the polygon and the apple, and then we'll come here. And these are the boolean groups, and then you can union, subtract. intersect or exclude. I remember, I think we taught this, or didn't we? Then if we didn't, then maybe we'll have to like focus on this more. But there's a lot you can do with Boolean operators. This union selection will help you join two different shapes together. Join two different shapes together into one. So let's say that you, it has made it one. You see there's no break between them. So let's rename this two tip two tip BG. That's two tip background. So we have this our two tip background. And then maybe we want to add a little corner radius to it. So let's give it off a corner radius of 2 here on every side. So you see how this looks like. Doesn't it look nice? Yes, it does. Really looks nice. If you don't really like the way this looks in, I think there's something you can do to it. You can use, let's not touch that, but I think this is okay. Yeah, this is perfect the way. So we now need to put this, so let's change the color. This color is not right. So let's use the color we use for our alert, right? So I'll type I, which brings out the eyedropper tool, and then scroll and move to, yeah, I want to pick the color with an eyedropper tool. Okay, that's been done. So then you see the color has changed. Yes, that's off white. So now we want to move that off white into this frame, right? Into this two tips frame. So let's do that. Remove it inside. Make sure that it is aligned to the bottom and aligned to the center. And then we send it to the back. You left click or right click and then send to back. Bring to front, send to back. They have shortcuts for that too. So this is it. Make sure that your two tick frame, you are not clipping content so that what is outside your two tick can show. Then we also want to give I'm sure you can see this now. Then we also want to give two tip background. We want to give it a border rather than stroke. So we add a stroke and then we come and select that color that we've been using for the stroke. Let me see to be able to find it. Yeah, I think this is it. So here it is our tooltip. It's because this is a section. That is why the name of the frame is showing this tooltip. But if this was inside another frame, you wouldn't see this tooltip. So imagine if I change this from a section to a frame. And this is how your tooltip would look like. And then because it's going to be like floating, the same thing for tooltips, same thing for alert, you might want to add a excuse me, you might want to add a drop shadow. Let's use let's use our blue, make it 15%. Yeah, that works. So I want to add a drop shadow. So this is a tooltip with a drop shadow, right? So this so I think I'm done here. Yeah, I'm done here. So let me make this into a section again. Yes, I've changed it. See how I'm changing it. You can change it in a section. You can only change a section to a frame. You can't change a section to a group. So you can change a frame to a group or a section. Okay, so that is that. You probably select these two and then put them in the middle, just like we did for the other. So let's put it in the middle of the section. Mm, not more like it. So yeah, I believe we've made enough progress. so I might as well delete it. I'll just leave them for let's say for balance. So now moving on our screen, uh, I think a lot of us are experiencing network issues. Is that is it yeah, is it empty? So I'm going to create a mobile screen. I know I think I know this. So just like create a mobile screen. Let's pick iPhone. Let's say iPhone. Maybe iPhone 13. I actually like to work with smaller screen, smaller phone screen. Because when you're working with smaller phone screen, you it's easy for you to easier for you to scale your design to fit bigger screen instead of the other way around. Yeah. So this actually what was supposed to work on. I guess we'll do in our next class.
I can hear you, but it's like the students have left, most of them.
So in our next class, because I would really want everyone to be present while I do this in case of questions or no. Yeah, I guess these ones are still well, they're still following. Yeah, okay. So I will drop the assignment in the chat. Yeah, but thank you so much, Michael.
No problem.
Okay, so let me end the call.
Okay.